It's Madden NFL 23 on EA Sports. And up next is Xavier Howard. He got the QB not once, but twice last week with a pair of interceptions. It's the Dolphins and the Ravens, and it's all up next on EA Sports.
With Chesapeake Bay gleaming in the distance, we are inside M&T Bank Stadium near the Inner Harbor in Baltimore, Maryland. Today, after a crazy opening weekend, it's on to week 2, and we've got a good one here between the Miami Dolphins and the Baltimore Ravens. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, you look at this Raven team as they get ready here. They come in off a good win on the road, and now they hit the home opener at 1-0.
And the way they played last week defensively, you look at the tape, it looks like they had extra guys on the field, and they thoroughly shut down that offense.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Dolphins, they were losers their last time out. They're going to try to get back in the win column, but obviously they're going to have to do that in a hostile environment.
And sometimes that actually works to your advantage. Now you've got to band together your team, the us against the world mentality. Let's see if they can use it and get a victory.
The final weekend of the summer. Hope you're enjoying it wherever you are as we are off and running on EA Sports. Taking it about the 1. And he'll go down as this drive will start at the 25-yard line. Now Tua Tagovailoa gets set to lead this Dolphins offense for the first time.
And he certainly had his share of struggles in the opener, threw a couple of ill-timed interceptions in the game. So that was something that was hard to pop all week in practice. Because if he's going to help this team be a winning one, he can't give the football away like he did last week.
Now the first carry for Chase Edmonds. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30. The numbers for him from a week ago, 22 carries, 103 in the yardage department.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw here taken in by Gesicki. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. 19 yards to pick up there. Move the chains.
Good job there of getting his tight end involved because he lines up on the right side of the formation, just works his way across the field. I really like how they were in sync on that one. He spotted the open gap in the zone, and his quarterback found him, and they get a first down.
They'll run on first down, Edmonds. And they go backwards here, losing yardage back at the 48-yard line. They'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Part of their struggles last week was getting these negative plays on 1st and 2nd down. That's something they have to be wary of as this game continues.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Another carry now for Edmonds. Gets by him, and now a little daylight. And across midfield he goes into Raven territory. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. Throwing is Tagovailoa on 3rd down here. And he goes down. The Ravens able to get to him. Michael Pierce, and on his 340-pound build, he gets the sack. Well, last game he had 2 sacks. Got another one here picked up right where he left off.
Brandon, he spent the entire offseason working on new moves, new techniques, trying to add to his arsenal of pass rush moves. Certainly paying dividends in what we've seen so far.
Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. James Prochet deep for Baltimore. And last week in the loss, 5 punts as he gets this one away. And no one there to stop it. Hits at the 8, but it carries all the way into the end zone for a touchback. The Baltimore's offense making its way out for the first time, and leading them, their quarterback, a guy who is just so electric under center in his 5th season now, Lamar Jackson.
And he is, without any question at all, the focal point of this offense. Had an unbelievable game running the football last time out. And we're not just talking about little scampers here and there for 5 or 10 yards. We're talking about big, long, explosive, field-flipping runs. And that's something this defense is well aware of.
A man who missed all of 2021, this is J.K. Dobbins. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Emmanuel Ogbah finding his way to the ball for a big stop there behind the line of scrimmage.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through. But that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Throwing on 2nd and 14. Jackson. Pressure comes and down he goes. Buried behind the line by Christian Wilkins. Well, Lamar Jackson, for all the talents of escaping pressure that he possesses, he was helpless to do much of anything there. He had no chance.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
That is knocked away and incomplete, but a penalty flag. In the backfield, this might be a roughing call. A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Off the play fake, here's Jackson. That's complete. It's Rashad Bateman. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and it's 2nd down. Option play, and they'll hand to Dobbins. And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the 1st. They'll try to run for it with Dobbins. And they will touch him down, but not before he gets the 1st. The gain of 4 that time as the drive continues.
On 3rd down, that's a good job of situational football and understanding where the 1st down marker was and getting there.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll try and run right on the option. The quick feet by Jackson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. Really good effort. He does it himself, picks up 15, also picks up the 1st down. And this, it's certainly something to watch out for. He is not afraid to call his own number on plays like that, and here he takes it for good yardage.
And we know this defense prepared all week for this, but sometimes when you see it in person, it's a whole different ball game, and all that preparation, it goes right out the window.
Jackson going to run again. And he coughed it up. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And they will take over possession of the football at their 42-yard line. He let one slip away last week as well, so now 2 fumbles lost in as many weeks.
Well, we were out at practice, and we watched him work. And what did his quarterback coach talk about all week?
Being a 2-hand monster.
And we looked at each other. 2-hand. Oh, I get it. 2-hand monster. Both hands on the football, taking care of it, putting it away so the ball doesn't get dropped.
It'll be Edmonds to begin the drive. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. 2nd down and another run with Edmonds. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45. So 7 yards from the 1st down here as they come up to the line of scrimmage. Out of the gun on 3rd down, here's Tua. Got a man complete to Cedric Wilson. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. 21 yards there on 3rd down.
But one of the ways the quarterbacks keep all the receivers alive in a play, never lock in on any one guy. Make sure you keep your eyes moving, scan the field. And here he finds the open guy for a nice pickup.
Now a run straight ahead with Edmonds. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Now Tua. Over the middle and complete to Waddle. And they're going to move it down to inside the 25. Tagovailoa going to try and throw on 3rd down. Got a man, it's Waddle, complete. And he's going to be taken down with the 1st down at the Ravens' 14. A nice pickup of 10 means that this drive will stay on track.
But whenever you call and run the hitch route, a lot of times that ball's got to be in the air before the receiver even turns around. That's the result of throwing it so many times in practice. Is really a timing route. Make sure that ball's out of your hands, and oftentimes the receiver turns around, and there's the ball. Nice completion there.
Inside the red zone here, they'll look to throw.
It certainly didn't appear that that's where he wanted to grab the ball initially, so trying to get something out of it by dumping it off to his running back unsuccessfully.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. On the handoff, it's Edmonds. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. It's been a pretty long drive. This will be play number 9. And they need 10 yards out of it on 3rd. Again, they run with Edmonds. And the tackle made at the 13. He is well short of the 1st. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So 4th down, Tua departs, and on is Jason Sanders and the Dolphin field goal unit. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. The kick by Sanders is good, and the Dolphins will jump out to a 3-0 lead. So the defense are able to force their first turnover of the game, and then they add on to that by getting the field goal.
And you don't just want to take the ball away from your opponent, partner. You want to make them hurt as well. And if you don't score yourself on defense, turn it over to your offense and have them put points on the board.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Baltimore set to take over here for their 2nd possession of the game. They fumbled the last time they had the football. Fortunate that it only led to a field goal. 3-0 the score as they start 1st and 10. The drive will start with an option going left. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Jackson on the give to Dobbins. And he'll find some space up to about the 25. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. Jackson rolling to his right. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th.
And, partner, I would guess that in his headset he was hearing from his coach, it's 3rd down, don't take a sack. And in this case, he's able to avoid the pressure and get out of there. He doesn't get the 1st down, but he does turn a possible loss into positive yardage.
Three 3-0 after 1 on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the 2nd quarter. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize, like going to the county fair. You don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. 2nd down and another run with Edmonds. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Trying to pick it up on the ground with Edmonds. And he's got the 1st down as he's up to the 45-yard line. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, partner, none of these runs individually have added up to a whole lot.
Now, 3 plays, all 3 short runs, but together a first down.
Yeah, it's amazing how the narrative changes when you string them together.
Here's Tagovailoa on 1st and 10. Caught. It's Wilson. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. On 2nd down, this is Edmonds. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Edmonds has increased his yardage every season in the NFL, but injury sidetracked what was expected to be his breakout season. Now Miami, he is someone they signed, expecting him to be the lead man in the backfield with several talented runners.
They fake the handoff, now Tua. And the pressure gets there, and Tua is going to be taken down. Odafe Oweh showing off the pass rush skills.
While he's adjusting to the NFL game, Odafe Oweh had 5 sacks as a rookie, and he's only scraped the surface of what he can do.
Work to be done here on 2nd and 16 after the sack. Tua going to tap this forward on the jet sweep. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. That's caught inside the 20. And he's going to be taken down with the first down at the Ravens 16. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
That's a big gainer on that play, and from experience, I can tell you, that's where defensive backs will come into the huddle and say, guys, how about some pass rush? But you're going to say it nicely because those big guys up front, they don't like being criticized very much. Quarterbacks in this league, you know they'll pick you apart if you give them time like that to find receivers downfield.
And he's got it. And the Dolphins are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1.
I think he has to be saying to himself, how did that not wind up a touchdown? Remember, you just need the tip of the ball to cross the plane. It's not going to get there, but they're going to be set up in great shape with 1st and goal.
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. And they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he is in. Touchdown, Miami. Alec Ingold, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And they are able to add on to their advantage. And they just powered it in right there, Charles. 3 tight ends out on the field. The fullbacks for the defense, they knew what was coming.
They knew, but they weren't able to stop them. They knew they had to meet them with a little bit of force. But on that play, the big guys up front won the day.
Jason Sanders now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive. And it ends with a 1-yard touchdown run. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And that decision to bring it out ends up not being a good one. Costs him about 5 yards as he's tackled into 20. Week 2 underway around the NFL, and a reminder that later tonight it'll be Chicago and Green Bay in the Packers home opener, the 101st season of that great rivalry. They had the 100th anniversary last year. And then tomorrow night, a treat, a Monday night doubleheader, Tennessee and Buffalo, 7:15 Eastern, and then Minnesota and Philly kicking off a little over an hour later. Play action. Now Jackson. He'll buy some time right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage.
That's the gain of 6. Brings up 3rd and 1.
They'll try and pick it up by running the option to the right. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26.
Holding offense.
And this third down looking very tough after the holding penalty. 3rd and long. Now it's Jackson. And that'll be complete to Dobbins. And up to the 35 before they're able to knock him down. 16 yards on that one and a Raven first.
Yeah, these are the types of plays they're going to need to hit on if they're going to get back into this game. It hasn't been the greatest of first halves. But this is a nice throw here on 3rd down, and they keep the drive going.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Play action. It's Jackson. The Dolphins get there this time, and they bring him down. Melvin Ingram dropping the hammer off the edge. Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. They go play action now. Jackson dancing to his left. And he works his way past the line of scrimmage and then slides to a halt. The Ravens on 3rd down. They've been good. 3 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Wallace. And not much happening there. He's taken down, but a late penalty flag in the backfield. This looks like a roughing call. A bad time for a roughing penalty, and they get the gift of a 1st and 10. Now it's Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line. Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on 3rd down. This will be the 8th play of the drive here. 3rd and 4. Here's Jackson. That's complete to his running back, J.K. Dobbins. And he will have a Ravens 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Partner, you know when we call a game, we talk about Lamar Jackson and his speed and his elusiveness and the ability to get him on the ground, how tough that is for a defense. But how about his development as a thrower, as a professional?
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now Jackson taps this forward, jet sweep. So not quite a 1st and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. They'll go option to the short side. And they'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson doing it himself from 9 yards out. And the Ravens have cut it back within a score. Well, that was all Lamar Jackson all the time on that drive, both through the air and in the end with the touchdown run.
Yeah, how about him doing things a little bit on the reverse side there, Brandon, because he softened him up throwing the football and opened up the running lanes. And when he gets a little bit of a sliver, he's gone. And that's exactly what he did there.
Tucker able to connect on the extra point. That'll cut it to 3 at 10-7. A 10-play drive that time. And it was capped off by the touchdown run that came from Lamar Jackson. Big Benogany elects not to return it. The football will come out to the 25-yard line. Miami's offense set and ready to go. So both of these teams, Charles, coming off touchdowns now, but this offense, they just had to stand on the sideline, watch their opponent author a really impressive drive to reach the end zone.
Yeah, and I think you're not telling yourself the truth if you don't think there's some one-upsmanship going on right now, because they just had their touchdown answered by a drive of double-digit plays that also found the end zone. Now they want to do something even more impressive to answer that one. So many times in my career, I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
Play action. Now it's Tua. And his throw's going to be incomplete. An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Looking to pass. Tua. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
Again, they will throw it with Tagovailoa. Caught by Wilson. And they're going to get this down to about the 37.
Did you see that route the way that I did? I thought he was trying to get deep.
Yeah, that
first.
wasn't the first option.
No, it came off of that guy, the deep guy, and came underneath on the drag. Completed it very well.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Tua. Going right back to Wilson. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with exactly a minute to go before halftime. Throwing again on 2nd down. Tua. Open net is Waddle, complete. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Tua to throw again. His throw incomplete. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. Tua going to throw. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away. This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have him looking at 3rd and 10. Here's Tua. And it's caught. Touchdown, Dolphins. Tyreek Hill from 21 yards away. And the Dolphins will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
Partner, to me, that touchdown had something that was kind of rooted in that group seeing the future. What I mean by that is they had a plan. Let's find a way to score right here before the half, and now to give us momentum going into the second half, give us that cushion that we're looking for. They got that accomplished, scoring right before the half ended.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. Taken in at the 3. And he's going to be out of bounds. Here's the run back. Will leave him shy of the 20-yard line. The Raven offense going to take over late in this first half. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. They'll start on the ground with Dobbins. And defensively, they're just looking to keep him contained as they're able to get him down.
Brought down at the 23-yard line. It's a gain of 5. Brings up 2nd and 5.
2nd and 5 now. Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. 12 seconds left.
To this point, I've been impressed with the work defensively. They have not allowed a lot of receivers to run free. And there's another example, another incompletion.
This time they stay on the ground. And he's going to have a first down, but not sure it'll matter as the clock will continue to run. Work to do here to avoid falling to 1-1, but this is 1st and 10 right now. So we reach halftime here in a 10-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. With that, let's take a look at the next-gen stats for Miami in that first half. And there were a few factors as to why they built this good-size advantage, but the rushing numbers were not all that amazing. We'll see if they can pick it up in the second half. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they had a little bit more success on the ground than their opponents did, and that should set them up well for the second half to come.
Welcome back. Halftime over. We are ready for quarter number 3. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gordon. From a yard or two deep, here comes a return. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. Out come the Ravens now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. By no means certainly are they out of this contest. 2-score game start of the third quarter, but you feel like if they don't get points and then they give up points, then it can become a slippery slope. This feels like an important possession.
Yeah, and that slope becomes even more slick if you come away empty-handed on this drive, because then you give them a chance to extend their lead. You need some kind of points here, even if it's just a field goal. It's what I call one of those calming drives. Try and slow things down a little bit.
On second down, a run with Dolphins. And he's stopped after a gain of 1. Not enough. Still a yard to go on third down. They go play action with Jackson. And he's got his tight end. That's Andrews. And he's going to be out up around the 45-yard line. Defense was thinking run, and they're dealt a pass of just under 20 yards.
Normally on third down and short yardage, you're thinking of throwing to your tight end. It's just going to be a simple chain mover. But this time they let him roam down the field, and a nice dart picks up the first down and then some.
On 1st and 10, it's Dolphins. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. That play over before it got anywhere thanks to Christian Wilkins.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson, throw left side, complete. That's Andrews. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Throwing is Jackson. And that is incomplete. The Ravens send their punter out now as he'll kick it away for the second time. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. And he didn't quite have the backspin on that one. It hits at the 4 and continues into the end zone. It's a touchback. So now the Dolphins set to take over on offense. They were losers to New England a week ago. Now they find themselves in the lead here as they start 1st and 10. Off of play action. Tagovailoa. And just not enough on the throw there. Down around his feet and incomplete. Again from the 20 after the incompletion. Here's 2nd and 10. Edmonds running out of the shotgun. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28. They'll come to the line needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2. Oh, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down.
I see the surprise in your face there, partner. That is a rare incompletion from him. He's been on point this entire game.
He has percentage completion-wise way up. Not that time. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the second time. Fair catch called for and made right at the 25-yard line. A 41-yard punt there with no return. And the Ravens, they'll take over. And now Baltimore gets set to take the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. I'll tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Jackson with a handoff to Dobbins on the option. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half. And that trend is continuing here.
So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Here's the option, running right. And he's across the 40, 3 extra yards to the 43. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. And this is going to be hauled in by the tight end, Andrews. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 34-yard line. 23 yards on the play.
We often hear the phrase sure-handed tight ends, and he certainly fits into that category. Plus, he's got a quarterback who knows to look his way when they need a big pickup. And on this play, he finds it for the first down.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. But when this ball's tipped and intercepted, picked up by Xavier Howard. And the Dolphins are going to have the football here at their own 18-yard line. If you combine last week and this week, he's got a hat trick going because he had 2 interceptions a week ago.
He's seeing the ball so well and understanding where receivers are and positioning. I mean, just watching him work with such great technique and paying it off by actually catching the ball when he has a chance, he's helping his team in a huge way.
Miami set to take over. No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. A throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. Throwing now is Tagovailoa. That's going to be caught by Waddle. They get 6. That'll leave them with 3rd and 4. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. He is going to find Hill here. And he is going to have the Dolphins first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Now a give to Edmonds. And good vision there as he's across midfield and down to the 45-yard line. Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last 2 plays.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Well, this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked off by Patrick Queen. And the Ravens are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. That's now a 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And Baltimore's offense set for this next possession. They'll start in excellent field position following the INT. So good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 42. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. Now Jackson. A slant route caught by Bateman. And they're going to get this to about the 44-yard line.
Injuries delayed Rashad Bateman's arrival into the Baltimore Ravens lineup in 2021. But he still put up 515 yards in 12 games as a rookie. The Ravens do believe a 1,000-yard season is more than possible from their first rounder in 2022. Here, he gets them a first down.
And they'll let the quarterback keep it here on 1st and 10. And he'll be brought down at about the 42. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Jackson. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Jackson now. Open man is Bateman. It's complete. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 26. 12 yards to pick up there. Good for a Raven first.
3rd and 4 is always a tough call. Maybe a little too long to run for it, but not too long to hit him on the quick slant. And that was well executed. Found the window and zipped it right in there.
Now they'll run the option to the short side left. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be 2nd down. Now it's Jackson. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. Here's Jackson to throw. They set up the screen for Dobbins. And it's not going to be enough here. A gain of 4, about 2 feet short of the marker, 4th down.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
They're going for it with Dobbins. And, boy, this is going to be close. That mark looks a little short, and he didn't get there. After the turnover, it's Tua. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time has run out on this 3rd quarter of play. 3 quarters have come and gone. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Baltimore. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. They'll run with Edmonds. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 10, right around the 9-yard line. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And going deep for Hill. They've got his man complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. Now that'll help get you out of danger. So much for playing it conservatively back towards your own goal line.
That aggressive mentality, sometimes you can use it, and they did there against a defense who probably thought to themselves, there's no way they take a shot here this deep in their own territory.
Things looking much rosier for them here in week 2. They work with the lead as they've got it 1st and 10. Here's a pass swung out left to his running back. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40. He'll go down as a gain of 6, and it's 2nd down.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It'll go as a loss of 3 on the sack, and it brings up 3rd down.
This This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead. Thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on third down. Now Tua. And going deep for Hill. And that is caught. Touchdown, Miami. Tyreek Hill with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Dolphins are an extra point away from making this a 3-score game. An important score there, CD, and now an important extra point because it would make it a 3-score game.
Love the math there, and at this point in the fourth quarter, look, we all need next-gen stats, right? We all use them, but we don't need them here, do we? Because that means it's almost a certain victory.
Extra point up and good by Sanders, and that'll make this a 3-score game now. The lead moves to 17. Morstead out now following the touchdown to kick. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. Baltimore about ready to go on offense. They've got some stuff to build on from that last drive because they moved the football, CD, and then they tried to go for it on 4th down, didn't convert, probably left a bitter taste in their mouths.
I would say so, and I think that they go out in this series determined for that not to happen again. In fact, they don't even want to get to a 4th down opportunity. They just want to make sure they get it done within the parameters that they've set for themselves. Run their offense, get it into the end zone. Yeah, I think a little bit of determination and a dash of anger.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on 2nd down leads us to 3rd and inches. Jackson. He's got his man. That's Wallace. And he will have a Ravens first down, and he'll have it by plenty as they're able to keep the drive alive on 3rd and inches. Here's Jackson. He's got his man. It's Andrews. 2nd and 4. Jackson will throw again. That's taken in by Duvernay. And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 42. Jackson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Jackson. That's complete to his receiver, Bateman. And they'll be stopped at the 28 on a play that started at the 14. They pick up 14. Now Jackson on first down to Boyle here over the middle. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20. To throw again on 2nd down. Jackson. And looking for Andrews, but this is intercepted. Nick Needham picks it off. And the Dolphins are going to take over once again with a football at their own 20-yard line. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
Tagovailoa and the Dolphins come up 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. He'll start things out by handing to Edmonds. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. They'll come up 2nd and 6 now from the 24. They'll run with Edmonds again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. Now a stoppage here as it looks like we've got a Dolphin shaken up on the play. Well, now they're going to come out and take a look at this injury, and we'll be back in a moment. And defensively, Baltimore's in a dime look here on 3rd. Here's Tua. On the screen, this is Edmonds. And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now, standing right on his own 5-yard line. Averaging 50 yards a boot so far as this one's away. And a fair catch called for and made just inside the 35-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And they will take over 1st and 10. They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10 at their 35-yard line. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And they're going to get this up to midfield. From midfield now, here's Jackson.
That would complete to Prochet. And they'll get this down to the 42-yard line.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Jackson eluding the pressure right.
He's got room at the 30.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. Throwing now, Jackson on 1st down.
And he's going to be intercepted for the 3rd time thus far.
Picked up by Xavier Howard.
And the Dolphins are going to take over at their own 11-yard line. But here in the 4th quarter, defensively, you know that you're just going to blanket the field with defensive backs and say, okay, take your best shot. And that time, it's intercepted.
And we've often seen teams go into the prevent early, way too early, and sometimes they get too soft in their coverages. But not in this case. They understood the situation and played it with the proper aggression.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
And after the interception, they are sitting in an even better spot with the ball and a comfortable 4th quarter lead.
They'll start on the ground with Edmonds. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
2nd down and another run with Edmonds.
And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. Now they're going to be dealing with a 3rd and 7 as that one officially a loss of 1.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge 4th quarter stop? Here's Thomas Morstead now as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Baltimore offense heading back out onto the field.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers.
And the ball is knocked out. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And he's got some space here.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, you'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. Out comes the Miami offensive unit now. They get set to take over.
And they have to be feeling pretty good. Comfortable 4th quarter lead as they take over following the fumble recovery.
They'll run on 1st down, Edmonds. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calais Campbell on the stop. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL. And he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
62 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
I think we can safely say that those types of plays are the backbone of this offense. We know not every run's going to be a big hitter, but you know they'll take that type of result on each and every attempt.
On 3rd down, they run with Edmonds. And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
Sanders' kick is good, and the Dolphins will add on to their lead. Well, ultimately not really sure that they're going to need those 3 points, but they'll take the 3 and they pad that lead.
Yeah, this one's already wrapped up, but you and I both know if you're an offensive coordinator, you never let up on the gas unless the head coach tells you to do so. And maybe you've actually clicked him off in your headset so you can keep calling plays and trying to add to this lead.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
It's second down and 10.
To throw again is Jackson. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Javon Holland. And the Dolphins are going to have great field position here as this is returned just shy of midfield. All smiles and high fives on that defensive sideline. That interception will cap off what was truly a tremendous performance.
Yeah, if you can hold a team to 7 points in the NFL, that's the kind of day that you feel really good about. Now, I do know a few guys are going to think to themselves, held them to 7. If we'd made one more play, could have had our shutout.
Victory very likely now for the Dolphins as they take a knee here. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Miami, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with the victory. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Buffalo Bills. Meanwhile, for the Ravens, they will fall to 1-1. And they'll look to get back in the winning column next week as they head to Foxborough to face off against the New England Patriots.